So I completed the Helltooth set today. Just to anybody that doesn't know what the Helltooth set does just yet, this is a Torment only set. It only drops in Torment 1 or higher. It's the most recent Witch Doctor set that's been added to the game. So 2-piece is 500 intelligence. 4-piece reduces cooldown of Wall of Zombies by 2 seconds. And the 6-piece is Wall of Zombies spews acid, dealing 300% weapon damage every second for its entire duration. Which is pretty crazy. Basically, this is the effect that it does. It's a pretty big radius, as you can see, the poison that it's doing. It's pretty good damage, but basically with using some legacy items, with the 2-second reduction from the set bonus, and then using a Skull Grasp and a Mara's from Legacy, we're able to get it down to a basically no cooldown, 0 seconds, so we can just spam the ability as much as we want. This is kind of what it's looking like right here. That's kind of the premise of this build. Now I'm going to work on a bunch of other builds for this, ones that don't use any legacy items and that are not going to be able to just spam the ability. But there's a lot of benefits to this. I mean, your damage is a little bit low just because these items really aren't that great, especially the Mara's. We could definitely have a better one with maybe some crit chance on it. But the rune that we're using for Wall of Zombies is Wrecking Crew, which basically taunts enemies to the wall. It gets your maximum damage out of it. As far as the rest of the build, we're going Pestilence, so we basically just cast Pestilence and then spam the zombies for the most part. And then the rest of it is pretty much just max damage abilities. Slam Dance, Soul Harvest. A lot of the time I'm not right up on monsters, so I like Soul to Waste just because I don't have to cast Soul Harvest as much. This could obviously be something else though. Spirit Walk, this needs to be something different actually. Let's change this to... It can actually be a couple different things. Let's see. Let's make it, probably just make it Jaunt for now. Just a little bit more movement speed. And then 20% more damage from Mass Confusion. And then as far as passives, Pierce the Veil, because Wall of Zombies is free. It doesn't cost any mana whatsoever, so we may as well run Pierce the Veil, and then you kind of build like that. Gruesome Feast is probably the one that could potentially be changed, along with Fetish Sycophants. This is kind of just two that I'm using at the moment. We don't need any defensive passives. We're going to do some Torment 3. If we were doing higher Torments than that, we could potentially run something like Bad Medicine for 20% less damage, or Jungle Fortitude, or a few other things. But obviously we need no mana passives at all. Grave Injustice, cooldown reduction. And then the fetishes, actually, these spawn quite often, just because you're spamming your wall so much with high attack speed. At the most, I think I've had about 10 to 12 of these little guys out at once. So it's pretty good. The zombie dogs are just from the Homunculus currently. Every 4 seconds you summon a zombie dog to your side. That's all that is. This is just the best Wall of Zombies offhand that I have. It has nothing to do with the legendary effect. But Wall of Zombies damage here. Let's see. Got Wall of Zombies damage here on my shoulders, and then I can roll it here. I just haven't had a chance to actually roll it there yet. But we want to have as much Wall of Zombies damage as possible. And then obviously the full 6-piece set, it's pretty good. I mean, there's a few things we could definitely re-roll, but most of it's just small minor upgrades. Got the Warzekian arm guards that give poison damage, which obviously this does poison damage and this does poison damage, so it's pretty solid. And then like the zombie wall itself, when it's not spewing, like if you don't consider the spewing damage, the damage that Wall of Zombies is doing by itself is physical. So we got some physical damage here on the Doombringer. That's really about it. Try to get as much attack speed as possible, because like I said, I mean, it's just, you know, you have no mana cost, so you might as well cast this as fast as you can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, this is just a kind of a preliminary build. I got this set today, just been testing a little bit of stuff. But this seems quite good thus far. Actually, let me make a new game. Let's go to here. Just go to Act 3. So far, it's pretty crazy. It's a lot of fun. Wall of Zombies has always kind of been one of my favorite abilities, and it hasn't been good for a really long time. So it's kind of cool to see it be decent finally. The other thing too is you have an extremely high on-hit proc rate, which means that life on hit is actually kind of absurd with this ability. When you're able to get it down to a no cooldown, it's a little crazy. I actually need rares, so I'm gonna pick those up. Now, obviously, like in the expansion, when the expansion comes out, you're not going to be able to do this. I don't know if I can actually kill this goblin. Let's see. I don't think goblins get taunted, really. Yeah, not really. Alright, just get him in the corner. You're going to have a... He's actually probably going to get away. You're going to have a really high... let's see. You're going to have a relatively high chance of dropping the majority of the set once you're in Torment, because like, I got it pretty quick, really. I've only been farming Torment for a week and a half or so, and I got the entire set. So, I mean, as long as you're farming with people that, you know, are the same class as you, there's a good chance that you're all going to get geared out pretty quick. I think I've only traded maybe one piece. Like, the other pieces I actually dropped all myself. But most people are not going to have the legacy items you need to do this particular build. So definitely going to go over some other things here soon on the channel and figure out some other builds, some other viable options later on. I'm sure there's a lot of viable stuff. A lot of it's probably going to be trying to get Wall of Zombies down to something like a 4-second cooldown, maybe. And then just, you know, casting it every 4 seconds, or a little bit sooner, depending on how much your Grave Injustice is working for you. Because obviously you can get some cooldown reduction there going on, depending on how quick you're killing. But probably using something like maybe even Zombie Bears in tandem with a lot of poison damage would be really good. Again, I just haven't had enough time to test things yet. This is really the first build that I've worked with so far since I got the set bonus. So, as you can see, I mean, it's pretty crazy, man. Like, you're just constant walls of zombies. It's a lot of fun to play. You can do some pretty cool things, like you can just kind of like make a circle of zombies around you and just be protected by them. It's pretty awesome, and like nothing can get in. It's a lot of fun, man. I mean, especially the taunt. Now, there's some other options that I've been toying with. There's also the creeper ability, so I'll switch over to that just to kind of show real quick. There's creepers right here, and with how much you're spamming this, you get a lot of creepers coming out of the ground, for sure. I don't think it's better than the taunt. I think if you're gonna do that, you're probably gonna switch to something like, oh, I might die here. Might switch to something like an Azure Wrath, because like I said, this has a really high on-hit proc rate. So you can honestly kind of just perma-freeze. Like, check this out. This is a little bit nuts. Just about perma-freeze everything. I tested a little bit in Torment 6, and it's definitely doable, at least as far as surviving. It's just a matter of doing the damage to make it worthwhile, which is easier said than done. So not quite permafrozen, but man, it can get pretty close to that. It's not exactly a CM wizard, but I think if you use it properly, you can get close. Now look at that. I mean, I've got 7 fetishes out at the moment. So I think if you've got, like, obviously the downside is that with this gear setup, since you have to have the 6-piece bonus, that you're not going to be able to use all of the pet items that boost their damage. Like, you can't use the attack speed gloves and helmet, at least not with the setup that I have at the moment. If I had one more piece, if I had like the boots, which I don't, I could probably maybe use the helmet to boost my pet's damage. So like, the pets aren't amazing, but I think that 4th slot for passives, you don't really need anything else anyway, so I think it's fine to use it. But I mean, as you can see, this is pretty much just wrecking Torment 3 relatively easily, and my gear at the moment is not ideal by any means. Hopefully in the next couple days I can reroll a few things, maybe get a couple different upgrades that would make it a little bit better. And I think Torment 5 could actually be a, like, relatively decent farming speed even. I think it can do Torment 6 really easily, as I almost get blown up. I think it can do Torment 6 really easy, but obviously I don't know if there's a lot of builds that can farm Torment 6 fast enough to make it efficient. At least what they need to do is they need to make Torment 6 drop legendaries a little bit more often to make it worthwhile, and then maybe then. But I definitely think it can do it. It can definitely survive, and I think it can do it at a decent rate. So we'll try that out sometime in the next few days. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Just wanted to do a quick overview. I'm not sure if any other videos have been posted yet with this set. There may be a couple, but I know the majority of the geared Witch Doctors on the beta at the moment, and I haven't seen anybody with the full set yet. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time.